ask people what would they like to have happen if our team makes this goal, but that's gonna be a lot of work and we want to do something to celebrate. What would you all be interested in? Would it be presenting the findings to the management team? Yeah, we could do that. Would it be having a barbecue with family and friends? Yeah, sure, we could do that too. So that becomes part of the banter of talking about it.
Right.
Another company in Seattle I worked with, Corey Electronics, they had their salesperson, they had up against a tough goal, and he goes, if we make this goal, I'll shave my head. And then people are joking about, hey, I just got this client in. I'm gonna be first in line to, and they did a whole thing, and sure enough, they made the goal in front of the whole company. He shaved his head, and the top performers got to cut the first locks. And it was a whole thing. It was a whole story. Everyone loved it. It was fun. You know. So
I've heard,
humor should be like in that
yeah,
case, self. It should never be at someone else's expense.
that's right.
You
That's
want it to
right.
be safe, and so if you make fun of yourself, that's never.
It's always,
You got to be more human, and that's going to attract people to you as well.
okay. I've heard someone saying that if we make this goal or we meet this deadline, I'll dye my hair purple. And then, we do it and then have to dye your hair purple. Hopefully you can dye it back later, but you got to find the one that you're willing to do and that's going to work for you and that works for the team. And I think the whole point of
Yes.
the book, Bob, is that there's so many range of things to do, that from recognition to a little bit of a joke to a little bit of a competition, that you can find something that you're willing to participate in the
Yeah,
book.
and part of the spirit is to try stuff and to experiment, and not everything's going to work, and that's okay. Then learn from that. How could that have been better? And maybe ask the people that, like, I remember working with a company where they had this tough goal for a couple months, and the project leader wanted to do something nice for people. He got them a coffee mug with the team name on it, and you know kind of flopped. They go, "God, we spent 2 months and how many weekends making this happen? We got a coffee mug, really? Is that?" And so he was had enough awareness about where instead of saying, "Well, you ingrate, it was a nice thing," he said, "Well, what would you have liked better? What could I?" And turn it into a learning point. And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and maybe in that case, just discussing with the group, what would you like to do to celebrate? Would have
I,
done it.
I think if there's one key message out of this conversation for leaders, it's don't just do what you would like to do. Ask your team, ask your organization what they would like. I also think there's a second insight that you just had. When we give people an object like a coffee mug or money or pizza and we spend money on it, there's always the risk that people say, well, you didn't spend much money given how much I really put into this one. But when
Yeah.
you turn it into something that's fun, that people enjoy doing, it's the joy that substitutes for the expense. So, like the fun and the banter of shaving your boss's head or washing a car is
Or
not
having
money. So, nobody's complaining about how much or how little. It's just the experience.